It's really interesting that I moved in here out of the other room because I guess 8 minutes to 1, it was like, what, 6, 5, 4? Like 4 people in here. So I said, well, I think we just need to move into the living room. So like I said, I know the secret of having a full house. Telling myself nobody's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
My ego, when you love to be wrong,
Exactly.
when you love to be wrong, it's like you can always have what you want. It's a part of my mind that loves to make me wrong. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And you can also sit in here too. There's chairs in here. I don't mind you sitting right to my side. That's great. I want to welcome you to the Course in Miracles. And I like it, and that's what I kind of like when everybody's kind of cozy anyway. Coming to a oneness class. So, if you're here for the first time, is there anyone here for the first time? Oh, it's a lot of Course in Miracles virgins in the house today. Well, I'll try to be gentle. And there's some chairs right here too. The only thing that you need to remember if this is your first time attending this class is that you don't have to believe it. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to welcome it. Some of the things I say may be hard to believe. Some of the things I say may be hard to believe. You might say, that's hard to believe. Some of the things I say might be quite, that's right, I want y'all to have my back, that's fine. You can just be right there.
Have my back.
Okay, or you can sit on the floor, it's great. I'm a floor person, I don't mind sitting on the floor.
I'm gonna sit right here.
That's right, all right, that's what I'm talking about. I love my dream, it's so good. So, basically what we were trying to do is remove the blocks to love. We want to remove the blocks to our happiness. We want to remove the blocks to our joy. And the Course in Miracles says you don't have to believe it, you don't have to accept it, you don't have to welcome it. If you use it, you'll see that it's true. If you use it, you'll see that it works. And a miracle is nothing but a correct perception. So when we say that this is a Course in Miracles, we're talking about this is a course in correct perception. This is a course in how to see things differently. And a correct perception is a perception that is full of love and a perception that is not attacking. So basically the Course is saying if we have perceptions that's full of love and not attacking, it's a friggin' miracle.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's called a Course in Miracles. Not because we're going to walk the Red Sea, but it just be because you might forgive your mom. Or you let go of that grievance you got toward the boss or somebody around you. Because sometimes we're so addicted to being right more than being happy that if we will let go of the way that we're looking at something in order to be happy, the Course in Miracles says that's a miracle. That's what it is. Absolutely. And there's something that I wanted to cover that I was reading this morning when I was studying, and it's at the beginning of chapter 5 in the text. And then I'm going to jump to where we're at today. But before we do that, can we acknowledge ourselves for even showing up today? Come on, give it up. Give it up to you. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, after what you did last night, it's a miracle you did today. And you know what I'm talking about. That's why you're here to work on forgiveness and repenting. This section is called it's just the introduction to healing and wholeness. But these 3 paragraphs, to me, are saying some things that are so awesome that I'd like us to hear this morning. It says, to heal is to make happy. I told you to think how many opportunities you've had to gladden yourself, how many times you've had to gladden yourself, and how many times you've refused. Think about how many times you've had an opportunity to feel better and to love yourself, and then how many times you have refused. Think about that. How many times you've had an opportunity to gladden yourself, and how many times you refuse to gladden yourself. Then the Course says, this is the same as telling you that you refuse to heal yourself. So every time you don't allow yourself to have the fun that you think you need to have, the joy you think you want to have, the happiness you think you want to have, you are actually refusing to heal yourself. The light that belongs to you is the light of joy. Radiance is not associated with sorrow. Joy calls forth an integrated willingness to share it. Joy promotes the mind's natural impulse to respond as one. So joy calls forth an integrated willingness to share it. If I'm having a good time and I'm feeling joyous, then it calls forth out of other people a willingness to share in the joy and have a good time and be happy too. I experienced that just last night at a birthday party. You know, our willingness to have joy was calling more and more people to want to have a good time too. Everybody relates to that. Okay? So the Course in Miracles tells us that that's the impulse to respond as one. Being one means let's freaking be happy together. Let's have some joy together. Okay? Okay. That was the greatest example of joy together I've ever seen. That is an outstanding example of joy together. Let's have some joy together. You know, somebody come to you and say, hey baby, let's make joy. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. That sounds good. Doesn't that sound good?
That sounds really
That's
sexy.
right. Can I make joy with you? That's what you want to hear. That's what you want to see there. Yes, you can. That's good. That's good. And then it goes on to say, those who attempt to heal or to make joyous without being wholly joyous themselves call forth different kinds of responses at the same time, and thus deprives others of the joy of responding wholeheartedly. So if you're trying to make somebody else happy, but you're not totally happy yourself, then they might respond any kind of way. So the Course is telling me, well, if you're trying to give somebody love, but you don't feel totally loving yourself, they might respond any kind of way. So anytime you're trying to give anybody anything that you're not wholly yourself, then you could expect that you might receive any kind of response. I'm trying to make you feel happy, but I don't feel happy. Then you might respond with happiness and you might not. That's what it's telling us. If you're not really being what you are trying to give, then people are not going to react consistently. So that kind of explains that in my life now, why it looks like I'll try to be kind and it looks like everybody's not kind. Well, if I'm not wholly kind, and I'm not being wholly kind if I'm not being kind to myself. So when I say wholly kind, I'm trying to get to the point I treat myself as good as I treat y'all. I'll give you a break before I give me a break. I'll be less critical of you than I am of myself. So now I'm trying to treat others, I'm trying to treat myself as I treat others, rather than the other way around. You know, you do something, I say, oh, you're innocent, that's just your call for love, you just a sweet little child of God. Then I do something and you pitiful, pathetic dude. I wonder if that's the voice for God. I used to have a hard time telling the voice of love from the voice of fear, right? So stop trying to make other people happy if you're not happy. Stop trying to say you're going to love somebody else if you don't love yourself. Stop saying you're going to give somebody else peace and you wear your head to death. You're going to call for different kinds of responses. Then the other thing the Course says is to be wholehearted. To be wholehearted, you must be happy. And if fear and love cannot coexist, you can't have fear and love coexisting, then it's impossible to be wholly fearful and remain alive. When you're completely afraid, you don't even feel alive. I was observing around me when there was one point in the party where there was some serious playing going on. And I was watching some people respond to the play with tremendous joy, and I was watching some people respond to the play with total judgment and fear. It was interesting to watch the expressions. You know, whatever I'm afraid to do, if you do it, I'm going to judge it. Whatever I'm afraid to do, if you do it, I'm going to judge it. If I'm afraid to speak and hug and dance and play, and then I see you doing it, then to justify my being that way, I got to judge you for doing it. I got to make you bad. I got to make you wrong for doing it. And so it was interesting to see that the event that was happening was neutral, but I was watching that no one around me had a neutral response to it. No one around me was seeing it in a neutral way. Even though it was just neutral. It was just people doing whatever was happening. And then I was watching everybody have their interpretation and their judgment of it, including me, and then reacting to it as if their judgment was true. Which is, I realize, is what we do all the friggin' time. It's happening right now as you listen to me. You're interpreting what I'm saying, and then you're reacting to the interpretations you're giving yourself. So then it says, it's impossible to be wholly fearful and remain alive. The only possible whole state is the state of love. There is no difference between love and joy. There's no difference between love and joy. There's no difference between love and joy. There's no difference between love and joy. Love is joy. Love is joy. I love you. I love you too.
I love you.
I love you.
I love everybody in this room.
I want to love everybody in this room. I really do. I don't, but I want to. That's why I'm in this room. That's why I'm studying. So that I can learn how to let the love come through me. You know what I'm saying? It's there. But it's blocked by several decades of misperception, fears, grievances, and things, thinking people have done things to me and that they've hurt me before, and blah, 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 blah. So I want to assure you that under this, all these layers of crap that I've given myself over the years, I love y'all too. Okay? Isn't it wonderful? Yeah. And I bet you love me under all the crap you got in your mind too, don't you? I bet you underneath all that fear, we all love each other, don't we? That's right. And so then it becomes a matter of, you know, are you willing to dig for the buried treasure? Yeah. Right? You know, okay. So it's telling me that love is joy. That love is joy. 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 I love you as a joyful being. I love you as a being that's experiencing joy in your presence. I love you. I enjoy you. You enjoy me. I enjoy you. You enjoy me. Have you ever had somebody say to you, I just want you to enjoy me? How does that sound? Ooh, that sounds good, doesn't it? Hey, now. All right. That's love, is joy. Love is joy. And then it says to heal or to make joyous. So if I'm sick, I just need to allow myself to become happier in some way. I just need to allow myself to become more loving in some way. I just need to let go of some fear in some way if I need a healing. Then to heal is to make joyous, which is the same as to integrate, which is the same as to make one. So to make one is to integrate. To integrate is to be joyful. So the more joyful we feel, the more integrated we feel, the more one we feel. We tend to open up around people that we feel safe and joyful around. Okay, so that means that it makes no difference to what part of the sonship creation, the healing is offered, every part benefits and benefits equally. So it doesn't matter which one of you allows yourself to experience love and joy and happiness, all of us benefit from it. Yeah. So all of us benefit from any one of us being happy. So when I'm happy, you benefiting from it. If for no other reason, I'm not in the alley waiting to mug your butt. Right? So you benefited from it. You know, happy people aren't judging. Happy people aren't attacking. Happy people aren't trying to hurt people. It's the unhappy people that's the challenge. Right? So a person who knows their abundance doesn't have to rob anybody. Somebody that knows that they're loved doesn't have to feel jealous. You know, someone that knows they're sustained by the love of God doesn't have to feel afraid. Someone who knows that they're innocent doesn't feel guilty. So we have to be what we want to have. Whatever you want to have, you have to be it first. That explains why many things haven't happened in my life. The saddest person in the room will be wanting the happiest person in the room for a relationship. The most introverted person in the room will be wanting the person that's the most extroverted and out there. You know, so whenever you say what you want, you have to always ask yourself, would that person want me? When I get through naming all the characteristics of the person that I want, I need to ask, would a person like that want me? Would a person full of abundance and joy and happiness and open and knows how to love and is passionate and alive and free and wise, would you be the first one that they call? I can just see them now. Please, Lord, give me a dysfunctional woman. That's what I really want. I love myself now and I feel ready to have joy and freedom and happiness. Please give me a woman that just don't know how to respond at all. So I don't think so. I hate to break it to you, but I don't think so. So you might want to change you. I'm just a suggestion. Okay? Now there are caretakers. Caretakers will come to you anyway. Caretakers are people who try to get their feeling of value through taking care of others and fixing others. So you will get you a good caretaker if you're really pitiful. You know. Okay. So you won't be alone, I tell you. Okay. So I want each and every one of you to be happy. I'm going to tell you right now, I need your happiness. I need your joy. I need your happiness. I need your joy. I need your happiness. I need your joy. I need your happiness. I need you to let yourself be happy. I need you to let yourself have some abundance and some joy and some peace and some love. I really need y'all to get your acts together. I need you to let yourself be appreciated, to let yourself know that you are valuable. I need you to let you be loved and to love. Will you do that? Will you work on that? Will you be open to letting that happen?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that was right up there with joyful. Okay. Will you love yourself? Will you let yourself be?
Let me think about that one.
Let me get back to you. Let me get back to you on that. Okay. Aren't we funny? How could you possibly want something that you have no enthusiasm about having? Think about this. This is what I say. Just be with me for a minute. How can you honestly say you want anything that you have no enthusiasm about having? You know, if a guy walked in here today and said, I'm going to give everybody in this room $1 million, I bet you I wouldn't hear. You'd be, yes! And so when I said love yourself and care about yourself and allow yourself to be happy, when you really want it, you go, yes! You crazy black man. So that means you're being blessed by every beneficent thought of any person anywhere. You're being blessed by every beneficent thought of any brother, your brothers anywhere. You're being blessed by any beneficent thought of any of your brothers anywhere. So you should bless them in return out of gratitude. So out of gratitude, I bless you. My blessing of you is my gratitude for you. And I'm grateful for each and every person that's in this room right now. Then it says you don't have to know them individually, and they don't have to know you individually. So we don't have to know the people who are benefiting us right now by having a wonderful day today and being very loving today. So whoever's happy anywhere in the world today, we're being benefited by them, and we don't even have to know them. And they don't have to know us. So when I'm feeling good, they're benefiting, and when they feel good, I'm benefiting. So the Course says the light of joy is so strong that it radiates throughout the sonship, which is all of creation, and it returns thanks to the Creator for radiating His joy upon it. Only God's holy children, only love's innocent children are worthy channels of love's beautiful joy, because only we are beautiful enough to hold it by sharing it. You are so beautiful that you deserve to have the love and to share the love. You are friggin' beautiful. All of you all are friggin' beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, right up there with joyful. All right, now the next thing, but you know what? I'm going to say it to you no matter how you respond or not respond. I don't care. It doesn't make it any less true. Your reaction doesn't have anything to do with the truth of what I'm saying. I'm going to say it because I see it. I'm going to say it because I'm also being told that if I really want to benefit you, then I need to be joyful. That's how I can show you that I love you. I'm going to do what the freaking book is saying. I'm going to allow myself to have some joy so that I can benefit everybody around me. Wow. That's tough. You mean you want me to have fun? That if I'm willing to have fun, then that's going to benefit everybody? Okay. So the healer's prayer, it says, the Course says, it's impossible for a child of God to love his neighbor except as himself. So I need to love you as myself. And that's why the healer's prayer is, and what is a healer? The prayer of someone who wants to make joyous, wants to make happy, wants to be spiritual, wants to have a good time. He says the healer's prayer is, let me know this brother as I know myself, and I'm going to say, let me know this person as I know myself. Let me know this person as I know myself. Let me know this person as I know myself. Let me know this person as I know myself. Let me know this person as I know myself. Let me know this person as I know myself. Let me know this person as I love and know myself. Let me know this person as I love myself. Let me know this person as I know myself. Let me know this person as I know myself. So if I want to remember what it's saying, I can get it in my body. I can let me bless it. Let me. I want your love. Your love. I'll tell you again now. I want your love. I want your love. Let me know this person as I know myself. Let me know this person as I know myself. Let me know these people as I know myself. Let me know these people as I know what you say. Let me know these people as I know myself. Let me know these people as I know myself. Let me know these people as I know myself. Let me know these people as I want myself. I want your love. I want your love. Oh yeah. I want your love. I want your love. Woo. Anybody want to give it to me? I want your love. I want, guess what? Your love. I want your love. Say what? I want your love. Somebody help me out in this damn place. I want your love. Say what? I want your love. 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 Now take a breath. Now when you allow yourself to be happy, it means that you are willing to benefit everybody. Everybody benefits. They benefit, they benefit, they benefit, they benefit, they benefit from every moment of happiness that you have. I say, I want your love. What? I want your love. Tell somebody in your mind, say, I want your love. I want, you know what I'm talking about, your love. Woo! One more time in what? I want your love. What? I want, woo, your love. Now tell God, tell the Creator, God, what? I want your love. I want what? Your love. Woo! Yeah, yeah. Now tell yourself, I bless the world because I bless myself. I bless the world because I bless myself. What? Bless the world because I bless myself. See if I can crank up some joy for me. I bless the world because I bless myself. I bless the world because I bless myself. I bless the world because I bless myself. Oh, Earl, you deserve love. You deserve love. So you gotta give up the love. You gotta give up the love. Give up the love. Give up the love. Give up the love. Give up the love and go. I rest in love. I rest what? In love. Gotta have some fun on Sunday. I rest in love. I rest what? In love. What about God? Anybody that feels like it, say, I rest in God. I rest in God. That's why you just take a breath. Something, say it with me. I rest in God. I rest how? In God. What about good? Woo! I rest in good. I rest how? In good, in good, in good. I'm funky, I'm fun, I'm funky and fun and juicy and funky. You funky, fun and juicy. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. I got a nasty habit of actually practicing what I'm being told, so bear with me. You know, I'm so used to listening that sometimes it's difficult to just go ahead and do it. That's hard to do. Like what I just did.
Yeah.
That's freaking hard to do. I dare any of y'all to do it.
Yeah.
Bitch, none of y'all would get up here and do what I just did.
I'll get up there and
Well,
do it.
good. I'm glad to hear that.
I'll do it.
Y'all remember that on the next song.
Oh shit.
Would you pass that around? If you're not on the contact list, you might like to be on the contact list because I sent out links to the videos that I'm doing of the class so you can watch them every week, as well as I'm able. That's some way for me to let you know if I'm not here or what's going on, because I got a bunch of stuff I'm going to do in 2015. So I want to be able to make contact because I'm going to do an advanced Course in Miracles class. And that Course in Miracles class is going to be specifically geared to those who are actually studying the Course in Miracles.
We have to practice it too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be that's exactly what you're gonna actually like the ones of you who are like studying it, reading it, want to get deeper into it, you committed yourself to it, then I'm gonna have a class for you. Okay? That's right. And it's gonna be the 50 Shades of Course. Read that book. What you gonna say to God? Yes, Master.
Yes.
Okay, now in the Course in Miracles Teacher's Manual, we're continuing. Who knows where we left off last week? We were talking about trust. We started talking about the development of trust. And and we were on the very first stage of developing trust. It's on page 10 on the Teacher's Manual. And the first, if you want to develop trust, and that means trust in the truth, trust in the Creator, trust in what's true, trust in what you can really trust in. Then the Course says that you're going to go through a period of undoing. The period of undoing doesn't have to be painful, but you usually experience undoing your old ways of believing as painful. So the undoing is usually painful because it'll look like things are being taken away. So when you start to undo your old values, it's going to look like things are being taken away, but because it's rarely understood initially that it's just their lack of value that's being recognized. So when you stop valuing things that you used to value, like hurting yourself or mistreating yourself, then everything associated with that will fall away. And it may include some relationships that you have that you've been using against yourself. They may fall away. There's an example. Because how can lack of value be perceived unless you're in a position where you see things in a new way? How you gonna, unless you start to see things in a new way, in other words, if I'm seeing myself in a new way and I'm loving myself more than I ever have before, then I'm going to notice where I'm not loving myself and where I'm not allowing myself to be valued. And so it's going to fall away. And then the Course in Miracles says you're not yet at the point that you can make the shift entirely internally. So I don't care what Earl is saying to you, you may not be to the point that you just change your mind yet. And so he says, in that case, the plan will sometimes call for changes in what seem to be external circumstances. So that means that if you're going to change your freaking mind, then you're going to have some things that's going to happen to you that's going to change your mind. Everybody clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Then it says, then you need to understand that these changes that happen, no matter what happens, these changes are always helpful. If you lose your job, lose your relationship, lose your money, and whatever, or if you gain it all, it's all helpful. Even if the best thing that happened to you is helpful, and if the thing seems to happen to you that freaks you out, it's helpful because you know you hate that doggone job and you would have stayed on it for the next 20 years if they hadn't laid your butt off. And then at that point you might actually start studying photography, which is what you really wanted to do all your life.
Yeah.
So when you will not let yourself have the thing that would really bring you joy, change your mind in a way that would give you joy, the universe loves you so much that it won't let you suffer no matter how much you want to. Okay? And so it says these changes are always helpful. So let's declare right now that every change we've ever gone through is helpful even if we don't realize it, okay? The changes that I've gone through are helpful. The changes that I've gone through are helpful. The changes that I've gone through are helpful. Okay, now when you've learned that much, then you go to the second stage. So when you stop criticizing and judging your past because somehow or another you felt like it wasn't beneficial to you, then you get ready to go to the next stage. So I'm going to declare that all the changes I've gone through, including aging, that's a change that I've gone through. You know, I don't look like I did when I was 16 years old. I look better. So you just healed me. Okay. So joy. Okay, so every change you've gone through is helpful. Every change you've gone through is helpful. Every change you've gone through is helpful.
Yes.
Doesn't necessarily mean it felt good. I didn't say it felt good. I said it was helpful. All right, you with me? Okay, so look around and go, Okay, all right. Then it says, next, the teacher of love must go through a period of sorting out. So you're all about to start your periods. Okay.
Sorry, dudes.
You're going to go through a period of sorting out, but you will experience spiritual cramps every now and then. My doll. No, miracle doll. People without a sense of humor hate my classes. And that's why I do it. So I can run them right on the way. I'm never going back to this class. He said periods. I really missed you. I used to miss people that didn't like me.
I know.
Anybody ever done that? You actually be like yearning for somebody who don't appreciate you, don't like you no more, and you be like trying to get them back. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? How can I change? We got some seats right over here.
That was a bad time.
Okay. Okay. I just want to let you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So then the Course in Miracles says the next thing that you're going to go through is a period of sorting out. Now this is always somewhat difficult. So what? Sorting out is always somewhat difficult because having learned that all the changes in your life are always helpful, all the changes in your life are always helpful, he says now you must decide all things on the basis of whether they increase the helpfulness or hamper the helpfulness. What the heck does that mean? It just means you're going to find that many, if not most of the things you used to value will merely hinder your ability to transfer the truth that you've learned to new situations as they arise. You know, it's like if I learned that I'm a victim of you and then I'm a victim of things in my life, then that old learning could hamper my willingness to apply that to new situations as they arise. Where I'm not willing to say I am the one who created my way of feeling and experiencing every situation. There are some situations that I want to say I'm a victim of. So my old learning will stand in the way sometimes of me being willing to use the new learning. If you've had a lot of relationships and they've been really horrible in your perception, even though now we know they were helpful, and you've done this over and over and over again, especially when it was somebody you were really, really attracted to, then you might need to recognize misery and go the other way. You might need to start questioning your attractions. And when you feel one, you might need to go, because I'm attracted to you, I really don't need to give you my phone number. Because your track record is really horrible of picking people. Your picker is messed up. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't maybe get to know that person, but I would really encourage you to have a conversation before you do anything else. Because when you feel that powerful attraction to your past coming towards you again in the form of another person, you know, you need to stop a minute and say, why am I singling this person out? Why do everybody in this room, I pick you? Obviously, I believe there's something that you can give me that nobody else in this room can give me. And since I don't know you, it's got to be the fulfillment of a fantasy that I've made up about what I think I need from you in order for me to be happy. So I'm not even approaching you for how I can make you happy. I'm approaching you for how you can make me happy. So I could just do you a favor, just don't approach you until I get my motives straight. So if I feel any kind of attraction to anyone, the first thing I ask myself is why? What's the purpose? What is it for? What's the purpose? What is it for? Because I don't want this relationship to keep me from applying the truth that I'm learning to new situations as they arise, because I'm still too programmed from the way I used to be in the past, and I'm repeating my pattern again. So, because you value what is valueless, now I've read this 35 years, so I'm going to help you out on that. He says, because I value what is really valueless, what is that? Fear and separation over love. Yeah. Then the Course says, you won't generalize the lesson for fear of loss and sacrifice. So it's okay for me to be free, but it's not okay for you to be free, because if you're free, I might lose. So again, I don't want to apply the truth in every situation. I want to pick and choose where I apply the truth. So it's keeping me from using the truth in every situation. And it says, it takes great learning. What kind of learning? Great learning to understand that all things, all events, all encounters, and all circumstances are helpful. All things are helpful, all events are helpful, all encounters are helpful, and all circumstances are helpful. All things are helpful, all events are helpful, all encounters are helpful, and all circumstances are helpful. It's only to the extent to which they are helpful that any degree of reality should be accorded them. So you're no more real to me, and my relationship is no more real to you than we are helpful to each other. If we're not helpful to each other, then the relationship isn't real. So it's only as real as it's helpful. I'm only as real to you as I'm helpful to you. The more unhelpful I am to you, the more unreal I am to you. I'm not valuable to you if I'm not helpful to you, and you're not valuable to me if you're not helpful to me. If we're not helpful to each other, we're not valuable to each other. That's what it's saying that we don't have to agree with or have to believe. And it says, I love this, it says, it is only to the extent to which they are helpful that any degree of reality should be accorded them in this world of illusion. The word value can apply to nothing else but what's helpful. Who's helpful? Okay, poof, bam, bam. I'm going to throw it open for questions and comments right now for 5 minutes. Everybody clear?
So
Yes.
what you're saying is only someone you want to be connected with by them being helpful for you.
Yeah, you want to be helpful, and you also want the relationship to be helpful to you. And a helpful relationship is the relationship that's helping you remember love, and a relationship that's helping to decrease or undo fear and guilt and anger and the sense of separation. So if you notice, when I say helpful, I'm not talking about physical acts. I'm talking about mental attitudes and heart attitudes that you're trying to express to each other. So you're helpful to me, and I'm helpful to you if we're increasing the awareness of love with each other, and we're increasing the awareness of what's true.
So would you include in that an increase of self-love?
Absolutely, because we said earlier that if I want people to consistently respond to me with love and joy, then I need to be totally loving and joyful for myself. And if people aren't responding to me that way, and I'm not seeing it as if I'm being responded to that way, instead of trying to change them to make them more loving to me, it's my way of knowing that I need to work on removing the blocks inside of myself that's keeping me from being totally loving. So if I'm really perceiving correctly, everything I see in you, I'll say it's in my own mind, and I'll try to correct it in myself rather than trying to correct it in you. And then when I correct it in me, it will be corrected in you, and it will be corrected in my experience. Because once I change my mind, either the things around me are going to change, or my mind is going to change to the point that I'm okay about the things around me. Any way it goes, I got peace. See, it's not, if I'm upset with somebody, but I can learn how to see them in such a way that I don't lose my peace, then I don't have a problem with them anymore, because it was the way I was feeling that was bugging me to begin with. So if I can change the way that I feel, I don't care. You can stay just the way you are, because I feel okay. The only reason why I wanted to change you is because I was making myself not feel okay, because everybody around me is being affected by my thoughts, and I was allowing myself to be affected by the thoughts you were having. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. Because it would be much easier for me to change my mind than to change yours. Okay, somebody set their hand up. Anybody else?
I did.
Yeah.
So I was
Okay, hold on just a second. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So,
you get your hand up first.
I've been asking just questions with the universe, with my divine spirit, when I am in confusion, and what I'm dealing with right now is the struggle of like the ego and like the divine, and it feels like both loving. So it's really confusing to me.
Well, the difference is one of them gives love that's based on scripts and what's temporary, and the other one is talking about a love that never ends and never changes and only expands. The only difference between something that's real and not real is how long it lasts. That's it. You can enjoy fear, and sometimes our enjoyment of fear makes us think it's love. You know what I'm saying? There's some people that get on a roller coaster and they love the feeling of screaming and hollering on the fear that they're feeling. You know what I mean? And then some people get on the roller coaster and they're like very unhappy. So there are some forms of fear we like.
But when I'm really, really listening and meditating and praying, like, how do I really know the right answer?
The right answer is going to ultimately be the one that gives you the most peace without attack. Notice I said, and I always say the most peace without attack, because without saying without attack, because some people say the most peace they could have is to blow you away. So you kind of have to add without attack. Okay, That's why most people don't believe in reincarnation, because if they did, they'd be bumping people off saying they'll be back. And since our society is so violent, we don't believe in it over here for the good of everybody. Think about what I just said. If you're in a violent society, then it's good you don't believe in reincarnation. Yeah.
So you said that the course would take things away?
In terms of the value that you feel, it'll look like things are being taken away, but the truth is you just don't value it anymore, and so it's just fading out of your experience.
But my question is, what I noticed with the course since I've been doing it is that it's bringing up things that I have, like early dated things where I've forgotten about, where I kind of see my behavior now because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious about that in the course and how it kind of brings up your past injuries, your past hurts. And I'm not questioning what all of that.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing that's saying here. You're going through a period of sorting out.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's coming up to be released
Okay.
and to be purged
Okay.
from your mind, because you can't get rid of it. Yes, like you get rid of it by looking at it. You don't get rid of it by repressing it and denying it's there, because that's the same as hiding it. Hiding something isn't the same as getting rid of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People come over your house and you stuff everything in the closet. That room might look good, but you still haven't got rid of the junk. Right? And that's what we do. We got the closets of our mind. And we just got so much junk. You like a mind hoarder. You got thoughts that's all cluttering up your mind that you just refuse to get rid of. Thoughts that, just like you want to get rid of a toy you had when you were 10 years old, you got to get rid of agreements you made when you were 10 years old. Because that's still in your mind, affecting the way that you're responding also. And when you're not ready to let go of it, you can always tell, because anything that would free you, you would not be interested in. And you would lose interest in, and you wouldn't do it. So how can you tell when you're ready to let go of a pattern? You will assume responsibility for having it. As long as you don't assume responsibility for having it, that's your way of knowing that you still want to keep going through the effects of it. So the longer you deny that everything that's happening to you in terms of how you feel is coming from you, you keep on having experiences that keep you unhappy. Until you get to the point that you want to see the connection you have between what you're going through, instead of looking at the connection you think everybody else has into what you're going through. So the minute you're willing to go, I am the responsible for how I'm seeing everything that's ever happened to me, and all changes that I've gone through are helpful, at that point you've learned the lesson, it can fade away, and now you can move to something new. Because now you've learned the lesson. The lesson was all of it was helpful, and I'm the one that's determining how I feel about it. And I'm not a victim of anybody around me. Anybody that's come to those conclusions, that's somebody that's getting ready to have the fun and the healing that this book was talking about at the beginning of the class. If you still want to hang on to the injustices that you think were done to you since you were a child, that's just your way of knowing that you still want to experience the pain that gives you, which means basically you still want to suffer yourself, but you're totally innocent. The universe loves you, I love you, and as soon as you're ready to give you a break, we're all ready to give you a break. Because none of us are really sitting around focusing on how we can hurt you anyway. So since none of us are sitting around focusing on how we can hurt you, you're the only one that's holding things up. Because if what hurt you happened in the past, it's not even here to hurt you. So you're just keeping the hurt going in your own mind and nowhere else. And the way you know it's in your own mind and nowhere else is you have to tell somebody about it before they know about it. So if I got to tell you what I'm upset about, then it's not existing in that moment. I'm just focusing on it. Wow. That's deep, isn't it? So a person that really wants to be happy, they're ecstatic to hear that. A person who still wants to suffer will still justify thinking it the way that they think. And out of my love for you, I will totally, completely give you the right to stick with it as long as you possibly want to. And I'll trust that when you're ready to let it go, you will choose to do it. Because people don't always accept a gift as soon as you give it to them. They accept the gift when they see the blessing of it instead of the curse of it. So everything I've said today, when you see it as beneficial to you, you'll accept it. And that might be 6 months down the road, it might be 6 years down the road, but I can't wait until you do it. So I'm going to still try to be more loving and more joyful and more kind and see you as myself, while you still might be making up your mind whether or not what that dude said made any sense. And that's what you do with everybody. You show up as authentically as you can, because there are not but two things that's happening in any situation, and the two things happening in any situation according to the Course is that it's another opportunity for me to show you who I am and who you are to me. See, this is another opportunity for me to show you who I am and who I want to be. I want to be a loving, giving, sharing, awake man. Okay? And then I want to show you what you are to me by having joy in your presence and happiness in your presence, because if you see joy and happiness in my face, it's hard for you to believe that you hurt me in any way, so it's an actual witness to your innocence just to see my joy. Right? It's just like if I was sitting there going, it's hard for you to believe you were a good time. So I am a witness to you. So I want to witness to you that I appreciate you. You see, so this is my opportunity to show you who you are to me. Notice I didn't say this is an opportunity in my mind that I'm looking at it like you need to be showing me something. That's up to you. But I know what I want to show you. I want to show you your value. That's what I want to do. And to the extent to which you don't see your value, you would think I'm insincere and a liar and a deceiver. You know what I'm saying? If someone, I have to hold back my compliments to people, because I've noticed that I can reach a threshold with them really fast, and then they'll believe I'm just full of crap. Because I've said too many loving things in a row, so I couldn't possibly be sincere. Or the thought that I may say it to somebody else means that I'm not sincere. Because I always hear it all the time, how did you say that to everybody? Yeah, that's why you can believe it. Because what I don't say to everybody isn't real. Should be with that one for a minute. You know, if love is real, then I want to feel love with all of you. If it's real, I want your happiness, all of you. You see what I'm saying? So if it's real, it's everywhere. If it's real, it's everywhere available. If it's real, all of us can have it and depend on it. If it's not real, we can't all have. And that's how we know we're in a world full of unreal things, because it looks like some people have something that other people don't. That would never be true in the real world. Everybody would have access to the love, would have access to the support, would have access to the joy. That's how we know we don't know what real love is. If any child doesn't have enough to eat, that means we don't know what love is. We know what specialness is, so I'll make sure my child eats. Because my child is special to me. Okay, that's not love. Love would be the whole village raised a child. Not one. So I'm in a world that we don't have the slightest idea of what love is. And since I know I don't know what it is, and I know you don't know what it is, right? Then I'm going to give you a break. Because if you don't know what it is and I don't know what it is, then we're both going to make some mistakes sometimes. And we're going to sometimes not be as loving as we should be sometimes, because we don't know. So the Course in Miracles is telling us that what's valuable? It's valuable to the extent that I see it as helpful. This relationship is valuable to the extent that I see it as helpful. My relationship with you is valuable to the extent that it's helpful. So if you want to know what's valuable in your life, it's what you see as helpful in your life. And what's helpful in your life is what allows you and makes you and encourages you to have joy and love for yourself and appreciation for yourself, that you are in turn sharing it with others. It doesn't matter the form. It doesn't matter if you're skiing. It doesn't matter if you're going to the movies. It doesn't matter if you're walking through the park. It doesn't matter if you're at Shotgun Willis.
Shit, let's talk all that right now.
What matters is the content. It doesn't matter where I am. It's the content that matters. So helpful is who's increasing my awareness of love, and not helpful is where am I making myself feel fearful and guilty. That's what the Course is talking about. The Course is always talking about content. It's not talking about form. It's talking about perception. Because I could be the prettiest person in the world, but if I'm a harmful person, then that's not who you want to be with. But we're in a world that we put form before content. We put appearance before anything. That's why you think people work so much on how they look. You know, a guy knows if he looks muscly and looks all good, and then he drives up in a really fancy car and he goes to, you know, I had a friend that had such beautiful, luxurious surroundings that in most cases, all he had to do was just bring a woman to his house. That's it. He didn't have to say anything. As soon as she saw what he had, she wanted to give him anything that she thought would get her what she wanted. That's a person that's looking at form, not content. They're looking at the outer, not the inner, and that's a person that's blind. A blind person spiritually is just a person who judges by appearances and looks at the outside of everything, but doesn't take the time to find out what's going on in the mind, what's going on in the heart, what's going on in the content. So the Course is teaching us Number one, that all changes are helpful. Number two, that nothing is any more valuable than how you see it as being helpful. And what's truly helpful is that which is waking you up to the love that you really are, because you all are awesome. And that's what everything in your life should be reminding you of. So this is not a dust we're hearing this month. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. All right. Thank you for another opportunity to remember who we really are together, because that's what the purpose of this is. So I'm going to do the financial expression of appreciation right now. I'm a full-time teacher of the Course in Miracles, and I really appreciate you sharing if you found value in what came through me today. Thank you so much, you incredible beings. Let me pass that this way. And let me pass that way. Those of you online, if you'd like to also share, just go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and you can do it there. Also, I do, those of you who are ready to take your healing to another level, and there's some blocks you know you've had enough of and you've reached your limit, I do one-on-one sessions. Those sessions are called clarity sessions, where I take all the Course in Miracles and other metaphysical spiritual teachings I've done, as well as my knowledge of astrology and numerology, for those who are open to that. And we bring it to whatever your issue or situation is that you're ready to let go of. If you're watching online, go to my website. It is explained there, and we can still have a session even if it's over Skype and over the phone. And those of you that I've been working with and are contacting me now, thank you. And awesome. Tuesday nights, another class called The Way of Mastery. If you really want to go deeper and continue to go in this direction of changing your mind, The Way of Mastery is another very powerful class that I teach on Tuesdays. It's 7 o'clock. So in other words, give it to yourself as much as you can, because you know you're listening to what the world has taught you. And so if you want a different reality, you got to have a different thought. You won't have a different thought if you don't tell yourself something different. You won't remember to tell yourself something different unless you reinforce it all the time. Because when you walk out of here and you go back into the world, you listen to the news and you watch TV and you talk to your friends, you're not going to be hearing what you heard today, most likely. Unless you worked on it so long that all your friends talk the same thing. And that does get to the point that happens. But if you're new and you know you've not been loving yourself like you think you should, you probably are surrounded by people who are repeating the very ideas you need to let go of. So you've got to be proactive about your own awakening. You've got to grab your own self and go, you know what? I know everything in my mind is trying to come up with every excuse in the world not to go to that class or not to look at that video. I got over 900 videos on YouTube. 900. And I'm amazed at how many people that told me they watched hundreds. You know, and my point in saying that is the support is there. And that I'm not the only one. There are thousands of people online now that are teaching. It's amazing the wave of awakening that's going on right now. It is. You know, when I first got into this 40 years ago, actually, you know, it wasn't a lot of people doing this kind of stuff and talking about it. Now it's everywhere. And even if you listen to traditional ministers, you'll hear them saying the same things in their own way. So there's a big wake-up call that's going on right now. And we're part of it. Yeah, it's coming from your consciousness. If everything is coming from your thought, which is what we're learning, then the awakening that you're seeing around you is your own mind awakening around you. So when I say what you're looking at is in your own mind, don't just focus on what's fearful or what you don't like and say it's in your mind. It also means all the love, all the joy, all the kindness, all the fun, and all the support that you see in your life is also coming from your own connection to source and your own mind too. So give yourself credit for that. Focus on how you know you're not the same person you were 5 years ago. You know you're looking at it differently than you've ever looked at it before. And don't forget that God is. And I'm not talking about the God of your childhood. If I say the God of your childhood and you immediately feel fear, you're not talking about the God I'm talking about. I'm talking about love. The love that created us and that extended us. So what God is as love is. Real love is. So, here's a quick review before we go out of here into the lab. It's waiting for you. Isn't that great? This is Reverend Yolanda. So I'm going to read through these 2 paragraphs, and I just want you to listen. Are you willing to do that? Yeah. You must go through what might be called a period of undoing. This need not be painful, but it is usually so experienced as painful because because it seems as if things are being taken away. It's rarely understood initially that the lack of value is merely being recognized. You got to see things in a different light in order to let the lack of value be recognized. So that means that the plan will sometimes call for changes in your circumstances. The plan will sometimes call for changes in your circumstances. When you're not ready to change on the inside, when you're not ready to change on the inside, some things are going to change on the outside. If you're not ready to change on the inside, something's going to happen on the outside that's going to make you go ahead and make that change. That change is going to be for your own good. That change is going to bring you love. That change is going to bring you joy. That change is going to bring you love. So you need to tell yourself, all changes are helpful. Oh yeah, you want to say it to yourself. All changes are helpful. So I want you to think about a change you're going through in your life right now. Something that was on your mind before you even came into this room. Something that was on your mind that you've been worrying about and concerned about. And this is what I want you to tell yourself. These changes are always helpful. These changes are always helpful. Tell yourself, these changes are always helpful. These changes are always helpful. Now, the next thing that you're going to go through is going to be a period of sorting out. Sometimes it's going to be very, 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 very difficult. But since you know that all changes in your life are always helpful, you've got to decide all things on the basis of whether it increases helpfulness or hampers the helpfulness. It's only to the extent at which the situation is helpful that you should accord any level of reality to it. So ask yourself, of all my friends, who do I see is truly helpful? Of all of my relatives, who do I see is truly helpful? Out of the people that I'm around every day, who do I see is truly helpful? What aspects of my life that I see is truly helpful? What is it I'm doing in my life that I see is truly helpful? Because it's no more real than it's helpful. 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 It's no more real. It is valuable, it's helpful. It's valuable, it's helpful. If it's valuable, it's helpful. Then you want to say, let me know this brother as I know myself. Let me know this person as I know myself. Let me know this person as I know myself. Let me know this person. Now I want you to think of somebody that you have a few little grievances with. That if you see them in King's supermarket, you go down the other aisle. That person that you kind of don't want to run into. I want you to, in your mind, tell yourself, let peace extend from my mind to yours. 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 Picture that person that you are using to keep yourself unhappy in any way. And if you want to get past it, if you want to do something symbolic to show you want to get past it, you want to say, let peace extend from my mind to yours. 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 From my mind. Now, if you really want to go for it, tell yourself, I am entitled to miracles. Anybody that feels like saying it, would you say it? I am entitled to miracles. Say what? I am entitled to miracles. What? Yes, I am entitled to miracles. I am entitled to miracles right now.
Right now.
Did you give it up for you? Give it up for you. Yes. Okay, there's a quick announcement that's going to be made right now. Ms. CJ wants to make, let peace extend from my mind to yours.